Hi guys, welcome to StunnerShare. So today in this video, what we are going to see is Secret of Pivot Boss book reading continuation. And the concept what we are going to see is pivot with analysis. So before going into this video, kindly watch the previous video where I have started the chapter 8 Advanced Camarilla Concept. And in that I had talked about the developing Camarilla 3 indicator. So kindly watch that video, also the chapter 7 video, so that you will get some basic understanding on Camarilla. If you guys want to understand what is pivots, what is central pivot trend, then do watch the videos of chapter 5 and 6 so that you will get some in-depth understanding of what is central pivot range, what is pivots, and why it has been used. Now moving on further into the pivot with analysis. So as if people would have already seen the CPR with analysis. In the concept of CPR, there was also a pivot with analysis. The same concept has been used over here. In the CPR pivot with analysis, what we used to do is we used to concentrate on the pivot CPR range alone. So based on the CPR range, whether it is going to be narrow or whether it is going to be wide, we will be proceeding ahead based on that. The same way in the pivot with analysis of Advanced Camarilla Concept, what we are going to concentrate is we are going to concentrate only the L3 and H3 layer. We are not going to consider what is about the L4, L5 or H4, H5. We are going to concentrate only on the L3 and H3 layer. So considering all the instruments, all other indicators, we can be able to get some good returns, good profit scenarios, good entry exit based on Camarilla. So because Camarilla has a good entry exit methodology, so that will be giving you various number of trading scenarios, and that will be increasing your profitability zone. So like the same way what we have seen in CPR, the pivot with, here also Camarilla in that L3 and H3 is concentrated more. It is a very simple concept, but it is highly powerful concept. So kindly pay attention. Also do some backtesting so that you will be able to understand what is that. So why pivot width is needed? Basically, there will be a question, okay, pivot width analysis, you are going to concentrate mostly on the L3 and H3, but why? Why the pivot width is needed? Pivot width is needed to know pivot width is needed because by seeing the pivot width itself, you will be able to understand whether the market sentiment will be sideways or trending. Clear? So for example, let's move on to the Nifty chart, and this is the indicator for Camarilla. So let me do one thing. Let me clear. Okay. So this is the red line and this is the green line of what is it called, Friday. And if you guys see, the pivot, the L3 and H3 of Monday is going to be over here. H3 and L3 for the Monday is going to be over here. So considering the Friday's pivot with Camarilla pivot with, the Monday's pivot width is looking very narrow. So when the pivot width is looking narrow, you can expect that the tomorrow can be a trending day. It is not that 100% possibility of tomorrow to be a trending day, but the possibility and probability of being a trending day for tomorrow is bit higher. So no other indicator can be giving you this much of anticipation for tomorrow's market. You can use either CPR or you can use Camarilla, and you can use the pivot with analysis to know how the market is going to behave for the next day. So basically, as said in the CPR, if the CPR range is going to be narrow, a normal narrow and normal wide, it is not going to give a much impact on the trading day. So what you need to do is if suppose that pivot width, I'm just talking about CPR pivot width, if the pivot range is going to be very narrow, abnormally narrow, kindly make note of the word abnormally narrow or abnormally tight or abnormally wide, then the accuracy or the probability of the anticipation to be correct is higher. So what I'm trying to say is, if the range is very narrow, abnormally narrow or unusually narrow, then that means the probability of being a trending day is very higher. So your anticipation will be tomorrow is going to be a trending day and the probability is higher. So you anticipated a trending day, that can happen. But if it is a normal narrow, if it is a normal wide range, the anticipation can be trending day, the anticipation can be range bound day, or it can be a trending day with a minimum number of movements, or it can be a narrow range day, but R1 and CPR, that range can also be possible. So the possibility of anticipation when the CPR range is normally narrow or normally wide is not going to give much accuracy. But in the case of abnormally tight or abnormally wide will give you more accuracy. The same concept you can use it in Camarilla also. If the distance between L3 and H3 is going to be abnormally tight, then the market can expand. The market can expand means the market can be a trading day. The market can be a trending day. When a trending day happens, either L4, L5 can be broken and further movement can be done, or H4, H5 can be broken and further movement can be done. If you are very disciplined and if you are going to apply this Camarilla on a very good honest approach, then you will be able to make some good returns. Now let's move on and check the example what is shown in the book. So in the chart what is shown over here, if you could see the previous day, what was happened is like the range was very, very small. Let me take a snipping tool and I can explain you in a very in-depth manner. So if you could see, the current day was the previous day. Sorry, let's assume this is the previous day and this is the current day. The previous day range was very, very small, nearly from 82.25 till 81.5. It's very, very small. Just a 1% move has been seen in this range. And when the range is very, very small, we can expect a expanding day or a trending day tomorrow. So when you are going to see the market for tomorrow, I see the H3 and L3 is very narrow compared to the H3 and L3 of previous day. So by seeing this pivot with analysis, and by seeing the narrow range which has happened yesterday, I can easily understand that today will be a narrow trending day. And that is what has happened. After showing a rejection at the first 15 minutes, then the fall from 83.1 till 80.75, which is nearly 3 to 4% move has been done. So this is what Camarilla pivot with helps us to understand. So Camarilla pivot hereby tells us if the range is going to be very, very narrow, range in the sense the price movement from low to high for the previous day is going to be very, very narrow, then the possibility of the next day's pivot width will be very, very narrow. If the pivot width is very, very narrow, then the probability or you can anticipate that the market is going to break the resistances or break the support and going to be a trending day. A trending day can be, let me say again, a trending day can be start from here, go till here. A trending day can be start from here, go till here. It can be anything. It can take a support and move up, or it can reject and move down. Anything is possible, or break a resistance and further move up, or break a support and further move down. Any movement is possible in a trending day. You need to be very, very cautious in a trending day. If the pivot width is abnormally wide, what happens when the pivot width is abnormally wide? So assume the current day is a very, very trend day. It has happened a very, very trend day. Nearly 1,000 points has been moved in one day. So what can you expect tomorrow? You cannot expect the same 1,000 points to move. So you have to expect a sideways or a trading range day. So whenever a sideways or trading range day is going to happen, how you will be able to understand the prior days? Like by seeing the pivot width. You can see the pivot width. Pivot width will be saying that the next day is going to be a sideways day or a trending day. So this is what has been told in this concept. So now, okay. So as we have seen in the CPR pivot width analysis, there is an acceptance as well as a rejection scenario. If suppose the market is a range bound day, assume the market has become a range bound day. So what should happen the next day? The next day should be a trending day. So what is the first possibility to be a trending day? If it has to be a trending day, then the previous day range means the previous day's high and low should get broken, and based on that only the market can be a trending day. If the market is going to start within the range and not able to break the previous day high or previous day low, then it is not going to be a trending day, though the CPR width or the Camarilla width can be narrow. So kindly understand, by seeing only the CPR width, by seeing only the Camarilla width, it is not going to become 100% guarantee. So what you need to do is, like, you can anticipate the behavior, but to get the anticipation to be a successful scenario, you need to wait and watch what is happening to the previous day's range. Previous day's range means previous day's high and low. So if it is a narrow Camarilla H3 and L3 which has formed, so if the price is going to open beyond the previous day range, which is above H3 or below L3, then the possibility of being a trending day is highly there. Clear? So this is how you need to work on Camarilla pivot width. So do not blindly trust the Camarilla pivot width, that if it is narrow it is going to be a trending day, if it is going to be wide it is going to be a range bound day. It is, the possibility and probability is higher, but opening print of the candle decides what is going to be the future, what is going to be the current day's behavior. Same way, now let's see what has happened in this example. If you see in this example, the first day, assume this is the first day, this is the second day, and this is the third day. Okay, so what has happened is, like, the first day was a very narrow day, very narrow day, and because the L3 and the H3 is very wide, so the entire day remained between H3 and L3. Clear? Now if you see the second day, now we are going to second day. In the second day, the H3 and the L3 is narrow. Clear? But if you see the if you see the opening print, this is the previous day low. Am I right? This is the previous day low. The price opened below previous day low, but it was not able to sustain below it and started reversing from there. Clear? This gives the first point that it is not going to fall below much. Now what you need to do is, you need to wait for the previous day high to break, and then it is going to give you 100% or 90% accuracy that the market can be a trending day. And from the moment it has given a good breakout, it has started blasting. Clear? Now the second day is done. The second day is very trending day. So what will happen to the pivot width? The pivot width will be, the distance between the H3 and L3 will be very bigger, and that is what has actually happened. The distance between H3 and L3 is very bigger. And what will happen to the day? The day will have a narrow range. It was not able to break the previous day high, and it was not able to break the previous day low. It was a very big range day, and finally the market remained in a very narrow state. Clear? So pivot width analysis, or pivot width with respect to Camarilla or with respect to CPR, it is going to tell you that the market, it is going to tell you what will be the tomorrow's market behavior. It will give you an hint. It will give you an hint. It is not that it is going to be 100% sure. Clear? It will give you an hint, and it is not sure it is going to give a 100% guaranteed. Clear? So, but you need to add other features like, okay, first point, the Camarilla pivot width is narrow. Okay, it can be a trending day. Second point, how the candle print is opening. The candle print has opened between previous day high and previous day low. So let's wait for the previous day high or previous day low to break, and then let's decide the day, or then let decide the entry. So this is how you need to use the Camarilla pivot and the price action method and the opening print of the candlestick patterns, and with all these things you can apply this strategy in each and every day on everyday stock. It will give some good returns. Clear? So this is all about the content in this video. If you feel the content is good, kindly give a like. If you have any other queries, do let me know in the comment section. And if you feel, and thanks a lot, keep supporting. Stay tuned for more videos.